This person wants me to talk about the proposal in Idaho about reversing gay marriage, and I know they're trying to troll, but because I don't see anyone else talking about it, let's do it. So yes, Idaho House calls on U.S. Supreme Court to reverse same-sex marriage ruling. Memorial calls on court to restore the natural definition of marriage, a union of one man and one woman. Now originally I would have just had 1 point, but this point right here, I now have 2 points, one directed towards the right and one directed towards the left. Now first off, I highly doubt this will be put into law. This is just one state and it's not really taking off. And honestly, the people we have right now, they're not really true Republicans. They're more, if anything, centrists, or classical liberals. So this issue isn't one that they're really concerned about. But just in case it does, in the hypothetical sense, let's discuss the points. Point number 1, America is run on and founded by Christian principles, right? But at the same time, we're going to promote separation of church and state. You got to pick a side. You can't have both ways, because this is clearly being pushed for the biblical definition of one man and one woman. And I get that, but then you can't also claim that there's separation of church and state if you're going to allow things in the Bible to run the country. So which way is it? I want a more clear answer on that. Or where do we draw the line? Because as of right now, what I'm seeing is, as far as the Christian principles, this is like stuff in the 10 Commandments. You don't steal, don't kill, don't covet, things like that. Those are the Christian principles, right? But where are we drawing the line? Now, one man and one woman, again, that is not just a biblical definition, that's a scientific definition, XXXY. So as far as the definition of how many genders are there, that one makes sense. But again, biblical definition of marriage, and again, I get that, but then we can't claim we're rooting for separation of church and state if we're then going to have the biblical definition of marriage decide marriage. Point number 2, if this actually were to go into law, whose fault is it? Don't look at I and my kin. We have been warning you for years. Don't take it too far. Don't involve the kids. Don't start going after the kids. Don't get the kids gender-affirming care. We have been warning you not to swing the pendulum too far because it will swing back in the other direction harder than before. So if gay marriage were to be rescinded, whose fault would that be? You are the ones who kept pushing and pushing and pushing, and you kept trying to prod conservatives' buttons, the far right. You've been trying that for so long that now that it's swinging in the other direction, you're not okay with the ramifications of what you just did, of what you caused. Think about that. You can't involve the kids, try to push for kids, try to groom the kids, and then not expect it to swing you harder once the pendulum starts coming back. That should have been a given. So don't say we didn't warn you, because we certainly did, and if anything were to happen, that's because you guys kept trying to push it too far. So again, I really don't think this is going to happen, but if it did, people on the right, let's talk about separation of church and state and the definition of what that means. People on the left, it would be because you pushed too hard and too far.